Abiodun at day 2 of Niger Market Day, and we are here today with two very, very powerful women, one from Brampton, Ontario, and the other from Calgary, Alberta. And welcome very much, Dr. Omo, Dr. Omo of Triple Moss, based off of Alberta. Based off of Brampton, Ontario, but I mean her brand is everywhere, both online and offline. So, and she's here today, both of them and Madame Moyin as well. Madame Moyin is the boss at Kugot. Kugot is a drink you all have to try. I've tried it. In fact, when I get to the market, she just quickly give me one in the morning, and that takes me all day, and I'm good for the day. I don't even have to eat. And it's that kunu I really, really, really love. The Zobo is amazing as well, but the kunu as well, and that one just fills you up. And they have not just started their brands, but they've been able to take it across the country, in fact, across the world, because when you're on e-platforms, you're basically across the world and anybody can come from anywhere to buy your products. Today, they'll be running us through how they've been able to achieve this, how they started, where they are right now, some of the hurdles that they went through, so that those of us also interested, we are able to. Sorry, my WhatsApp is just popping now. I'll try and take it off now. We are also able to be a part of that and, learn from, how they've gone through the processes and then answer all the questions. Please let this be a very interactive session and ask all the questions, drop your message in chat. Okay. WhatsApp is doing anyhow, but yes. So thank you very much for being our guest. They came very, very early as well. So thank you for being here on time. And then I think I will let Madam Moyin starts with a little bit of introduction about herself. We will not do it one after the other. I'll just kind of like throw out the questions and then, you can take it from there. We'll kind of interchange as we go along. So Madam Moyin will start with a little bit of introduction about herself and her brand. And then Madam Omo will also do that introduction. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Olaoluwa, and I'm the face behind Kugot. I like to say the face. I don't like to say the CEO, all those big names. Let's leave those ones. I'm the face behind Kugot, and I'm super excited to be here today. Kugot started 5 years ago. That's amazing. It's going to be 5 years, April this year.
Beautiful.
Yes, it's been a journey of ups and downs, achievements. At times I'm like, oh my God, what am I into? But I thank God for where we are today, making progress and visibility is out there. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share from my mistakes. Unfortunately, I was doing a slide yesterday and I'm like, I didn't have anybody like this to tell me, to hold my hand and say, oh, this is what to do, this is what not to do. Oh my God, I make tons of mistakes and I learned from them. So I'm excited to share with us today out of the little that I know, and I hope that everyone will take something home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Omo, over to you. Yeah, I think she just stepped. Okay, beautiful.
I wanted to mute so she could take over the floor. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Omo. I am a builder. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm passionate about helping others scale up their businesses. I hold a PhD in business administration. I have over 15 years business experience running multiple ventures across Canada and Nigeria. And over the years, I've built, I've scaled, I've restructured businesses across different industries, but with strong focus on food, manufacturing, retail distribution, and market expansion. Here in Canada, I run Triple Mo's Foods, where we produce African food locally here in Brampton. Our products are currently being sold on Amazon Canada. We are on Walmart Canada Marketplace. We're also on Temu Canada Marketplace. We are currently onboarding with a marketplace in the US and also present across other e-commerce platforms. We also supply over 20 African stores for now, and we are in advanced discussion with 2 major superstores in the GTA. So I'm happy I'm here. I love talking about my businesses. I love talking about my achievements. I love talking about my mistakes, what I experienced when I got to Canada. I've only been here for a few years, but what I've learned, I love teaching people so they don't make same mistakes. That's all about me.
Thank you so very much. I mean, and we've gotten a brief background as to, how they've started, where they are right now, how they've been able to touch, different places in the long or short while that they've been doing business. So I would leave it to Dr. Omo again to now take us proper into, how you even got started with Triple Moss, the health hurdles you had to challenges you had to overcome, the packaging challenges, and now coming to distribution. Did you start from African stores first, then moved later, to the e-commerce? How was the e-commerce journey? So just take us through your presentation now. Thank you very much.
Okay. I would like to do this the official way, but I'll use myself as an example. Like I told you, I'm like a teacher, right? And I've prepared for this session. So it's like you're dragging me back. I've actually prepared for this session for like over a month.
Yes, you told me.
So I'll start by saying we all have unique businesses, especially in Canada. It's not like back home, anything can work, you can wiggle it and just have your way around in Nigeria. But in Canada, everything is structured. And for me, scaling happens when the system works harder without you, even when you're sleeping, the system is working for you. And scaling is a process. It takes time. Even if you try to move faster, there are some things you need to do. And that means your business can produce consistently, you can deliver quality repeatedly, and sell across multiple channels and grow without constant physical presence. So the initial thing for me, and something I know is general, is choosing the right product, think local and think scalable. If you are thinking of bringing goods from Nigeria, think of the cost of transporting, of clearing, the timing, and all that. So if you can produce the same products locally here in Canada, I think it's just the best. This was one of the mistakes I made initially. When I was coming, I came in as an international student with my 3 daughters, and my belief was that everybody is running African stores. If I bring stuff, and being in the agricultural sector back in Nigeria, was easy for me to have access to gari, palm oil, and all that. I was thinking once I get to Canada, everybody will be buying from me, But I ended up eating everything with my family. So I now sat back. I felt, okay, what else can you do? What can you do? Okay, I know how to produce spices, but do I have the resources here? Do I have the ingredients here? I don't think so. Okay, I'm still running my businesses in Nigeria. I contacted my people. I told them, okay, produce for me, send to me, I'll repack here. I did that for a while, but it wasn't working. The cost and all that. I did it, I was able to sell, but I still wasn't fulfilled. I like producing with my hands, and I just Googled and I checked where can I get all these raw materials locally in Canada. And I got them, and I'm producing locally now, It doesn't matter how big or how small, just start from somewhere.
Right.
So when you choose the right products, you reduce your costs, maybe for importation and all that. It's the first basic thing, you've worked on expenses, you've increased your profits by doing that, by choosing the right product. So the next thing is business registration and structure. When you do the right thing, it will work for you. If you want to be on all these e-commerce platforms, you have to do it the right way. Initially, I did sole enterprise. If you want to be on Walmart, they will never take sole enterprise. So why waste time? Why waste money to do sole enterprise? You understand? To access serious markets, your business must be properly structured. And most platforms and retailers require incorporation. And this shows clear ownership structure, And apart from that, you have to get some valid supporting documentation. Like if you are into food business, you need a food handling certification. Some people will require CFIA, related compliance awareness, and all this shows credibility and trust, and also helps when you want to access funds and all that. So I'll like you to think about it. Do the right thing instead of, right now I have two registration. I have the incorporation, I have the sole enterprise because I didn't get somebody to teach me what to do. You understand? Would you like me to stop there? Or you want me
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So after the registration, the next thing is the GTIN barcode registration. I'll go back to myself again. When I decided to start the production locally, I contacted people in Nigeria. I got the barcode. I did everything perfect. When I wanted to, the superstores I'm talking to, this Nigerian barcodes can work with African stores, even Walmart, but no, not Walmart, Amazon, sorry about that. Walmart will not take it. Even Temu will not take it. In the US, if you don't have GTIN, you cannot sell on any marketplace, And the superstores too. If you don't have the GTIN barcode, you cannot sell in. So right now, for my products, some of my products, I have two barcodes because I'm already selling to the African stores with the Nigerian barcode, and they have it imputed in their systems already. So I can't go back to them that, see, I've changed my.
We're not using this one again.
So that is the step 3, and it's very important. It helps if you want to be on Amazon, if you want to be on Walmart, major retailers, distributors. Without barcodes, you cannot, scaling becomes difficult, the traceability is not there, So the next one I'll move to, and I'm very passionate about this, it's attractive and compliant packaging. I have a packaging business in Nigeria, so I have little understanding about this. Your packaging will speak for you. Oh, I'm sorry. God is coming. Sorry. I'm not sure you're still seeing me. Okay. So sorry about that. So packaging is not just about appearance. It's about compliance. It's about trust and positioning. Good positioning, good packaging will build customers' confidence. Once they see it, they get attracted to it. What is inside this thing. Oh God. So sorry about that. So, and you need to meet the Canadian labeling expectation. And this includes the bilingual requirements. You understand? There must be French translation of everything on your packaging, So this is also very important. Then in many cases, packaging sells the products before the customer even taste or use your products. And the next one is being market ready. you channel your selection, your marketplace. Not everything can work for all the products. Like some products will not sell on Amazon. Some will sell in stores only. Some can be on every marketplaces, you understand. I'm currently working with a business owner. She's into small chops, Nigerian small chops, and we're working on the frozen part of this thing, when she will sell frozen. And I told her this can go into stores, this can go into hotels and all that, but you cannot sell it online. You understand? You cannot sell. So we have to come up with a product which she can sell online, which was the dry puff puff mix, So things like that, you have to check exactly what you want and how you can sell it. Not every business should start everywhere. Part of scaling is understanding what platform fits your product, which market aligns with your production capacity, and how to grow strategically and not emotionally. If you know that when I was onboarding with Timo, they asked me that I just put 3 of my products. They asked me that how many do I have right now? I told them I have 200 each, and they told me that it's too small, that they were expecting like 500, 1,000. So I told them I'm growing. I don't have the capacity now, and so you have to make your growth smart. And whether it's Amazon, Walmart, Temu, or even US, readiness is the key, you know. And so my final thoughts, because I would like to give Madam Moyin time to talk to my final thoughts. Scaling in business is not luck, it's structure. It's preparation and strategic execution, From my experience, systems, compliance, and clarity are what separates small business from scalable enterprises. So that is it.
Thank you so very much. I mean, I have gotten a couple of things from that as from, your thoughts as well. And I'm taking notes, and I'm sure every other person is taking notes as well. If you have questions, please pop them in the chat or wait till we are mute so that you can ask your questions. Thank you. That was very insightful. We'll still come back to the very practical ways of to see how did you even think of, okay, I want to go into African store. How do I do it? Was it through a friend? Did you just walk into a store? What was the reception like? Oh, I want to be online. What store did you choose? What informed your decision of choosing Walmart as against Temu or as against Superstore and all that? And how was the practical processes of actually, getting it done? Did they reject your project at first? Did they, I mean, one of the things you said was that you told them, oh, I can only have capacity for 200. Was that a big hurdle to cross, or did they say, oh, if it's not 1,000, we are not taking, and stuff like that? We'll come back to all those later, but then we'll go to Madam Oyin now and hear how she started, and her thoughts on scaling them, how she was able to approach the first store, start moving it out, especially logistics as well, particularly because your products are not dry, right? So how was that for you? Thank you very much. Let's take it away.
Thank you. I'm just trying to, can I share my screen?
Yes, you can, please.
Okay. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Not yet. Okay, yes. Now we can.
See. Okay. So I will be talking about from global to local and business expansion. So this is the line of thought that I was given. And so as I go through these slides, I'm going to be talking about my own journey and some of the, like I said, the mistakes and the successes that I made. So first of all, we're looking at preparing products for regional markets. Before we go global, the first thing we need to understand is the local market first. So before we talk about going into other provinces or going to US, we need to understand where we are currently. So I'm in Calgary. So I need to understand the market in Calgary. I need to understand the research, For me, when I started 5 years ago, it was out of, why can't we get these drinks here in Canada? There was nobody actually at that point making kunu. Kunu was one of the major drinks we started with. And we started, right April, we started and went to the store, got all the ingredients, and made our first batch, our first, test run. The receptive was amazing. Like everybody was like, Kunu in Canada, and that for me was a good launch pad to say, oh, this was accepted within the Nigerian community first. And then we added, Zobo, and then we added Tiger Nut to it. So first thing, the key research, understand the customer's preference, cultural sensitivity, the income value, and the price expectation. I'll talk more about this price expectation when I'm talking about going to another province. Also, adapt the product without losing your brand identity. So once you have done your research within your first market, your local marketplace. Now, when I launched into Ontario 2022, the first thing I realized with Ontario market is that what someone will buy in Calgary for $10, Ontario will not buy it. So I had to make a decision. And here I put, do not change who you are, but adjust how you show up. For me, quality is standard. Quality cannot be, you can't compromise on your quality. When I got into the Ontario market, I realized, oh, I can't sell the same price I'm selling. Obviously, I can't, because when I add the cost of moving to Ontario, it's going to be more expensive. And so what we did was the same quality, we reduced the size. So the Zobo, for example, that will sell here for 500 ml, we had to reduce to 350 ml. Why? Because the price in Ontario is different. Okay. And that brings me to adjust pricing strategy. In scaling to other market, the pricing is very, very important. So I'll tell you my first mistake. When I went into Ontario, we actually took a production plant to Ontario. So that means we were producing in Ontario. We had a production plant. We had all the raw materials shipped to Ontario. I had workers in Ontario, and I'm based in Calgary. So every time I go to Ontario, it's like I'm literally leaving everything here and going to Ontario. That was the first mistake I made, and 2022, when we started, yes, it was okay, but it wasn't sustainable. I can't be in two places at the same time, because when I'm in Ontario, Calgary cannot function, and again, the price is something else. And so we decided to say, okay, how can we make this work? And the next time we went back to Ontario, we were like, okay, let's have a production done in Calgary and let us ship to Ontario. And so that was how we were able to cut down on the cost. Yes, it's still, I love when the product is stable, like shelf stable. Mine is not. One of the key selling point for me is we don't put preservatives in our drinks. So it has to be refrigerated. Tiger Nut has to be frozen. So when we're shipping to other provinces, we have to ship with refrigerated trucks. For me, it was a struggle at first when I realized, oh my God, this is kind of a limitation. But I'm not ready to throw away that selling point, because Kugot, the vision is to provide healthy alternative to sugar-filled drinks. So, and one of the ways we're able to do this is we don't want to put chemical in the drinks. Okay. Secondly, I like to talk about packaging and labeling. When packaging products for regional markets, packaging, labeling, and quality standards are not just design decision. They are legal, safety, and brand credibility requirements. I am big on packaging. I love what my co-speaker spoke about. My mentor would say that excellence has a language. And when you speak the language of excellence, those that understand excellence will understand your language. I am big on packaging. Right from when we started 5 years ago, I knew what I was going for. And so right away, I had my barcode, I had my nutritional facts from the first time we started producing. We were market ready. Okay. Some few things we should note when we're putting together our packaging, the product name. We also need to put the net quantity. So is it 500 ml? Is it 250? You know, those things are very important. The manufacturer, production name and address. For traceability, this is important. Country of origin, your batch number, manufacturing date, expiry date, and like I said, the barcode. All these things is a must, you know, for us to be able to move our product from the local market to, you know, regional and even to scale. Common mistakes to avoid. Avoid copying competitors' label. I know this is something that is like a shortcut, you know. We want to maybe do something that somebody else is doing, and we just pick the label and copy. Please, let's not do that. Using unverified claims. So I went for a trade show in September last year, and this was a massive trade show in Ontario, and I had people say, so when I tell people, oh, this is organic. So I had this big buyer, she was talking to me and she said, is this organic? I'm like, yes, it's organic. And she goes, oh, how come it's not on the package? I'm like, well, I am not certified. I have not done the certification to put that word organic on my package. So we want to avoid claims because this part of the world, they take those things serious. Bilingual is also very important. So on your nutritional facts, you want to have French and you want to have English. Very, very important. Skipping stability testing. And then if there's any allergen on your product, we will need to list it. So these are just a few things that will help us when we're packaging our label and for quality standard. Now let's talk about scaling production. Scaling production is where many brands will either break through or they will break down. I had a conversation with a gentleman in the US who kind of scaled. He was into oatmeal, oat milk, you know. And when he shared his story with me, I was moved. I was first of all afraid. So they went from small production, and I think they overscaled. And that ended the company. Like the company folded up. They could not. And I'm like, is that, you know, but it's actually a thing. So when we are scaling would mean different things to us. For someone, scaling could mean increasing your output from 1,000 to 10,000. So I'm producing maybe 10 cases. I want to increase it to 1,000. Okay. Scaling could also mean I want to be in a new region. I'm in Alberta. I want to be in Ontario. I want to be in, you know, BC. Scaling could also mean selling to large retailers, reducing cost of units, automating manual processes. So this is where I am currently. some of my production, especially for Kunu example, Kunu production takes typically like 3 days. So I'm at the point where I'm automating some of my processes, so that these can, increase my production capacity. Okay. So if you're thinking of scaling, that's a good thing. But let us define what scaling means to me, what scaling means to you. And please, when you're thinking of scaling, let's scale gradually. Okay. It's better to scale. Sorry, are we good? Sis?
Yes, we are good.
Okay. So it's better to scale gradually than to scale all at once. Okay. Strengthening your production foundation first. Before we scale, we need to standardize production. We need to standardize our recipe. We need to have that consistency. I was so happy when we were producing in Ontario. We had the same result, like the same taste in Calgary is the same taste in Ontario. Now, if you take me anywhere and tell me to produce these drinks, I'm going to give you the same. Why? Because we have standardized our operating procedures. That is very important. If production lives in your head, scaling will actually be inconsistent. So we want to document all our production processes, and then to scale will not be a problem because all you're just doing is multiply whatever you have by whatever you want to get. Okay. Also talking about scaling, supply chain planning. Scaling fails when raw material cannot keep up. So the question is, if I'm scaling, how do I get my raw material? So when we started, I was, of course, buying most of my raw material from Nigeria. And one of the questions someone asked me was, how sustainable is getting these things from Nigeria? And I'm like, at a point, I was actually looking at Egypt because I was thinking, oh my God, with all the inconsistency in Nigeria and the price of things going up and down. And I actually got a supplier in Egypt. And the guy told me, he said, why are you coming to Egypt? Because I told him I wanted the hibiscus leaf, that's the Zobo leaf. And he said, do you know Nigeria has the best Zobo in the world? And I'm like, wow.
Let's go back home.
Yes, I went back home. I'm like, okay. It was a wow moment for me because you never know what you have, right? Until you go out and you say, I beg Nigeria, what is in Nigeria? No. So he said, next to Egypt, Nigeria has the best Zobo leaf. And so I'm like, okay, so what do I do? So instead of buying in small quantity, I started doing a sea cargo. Okay, so I buy in large quantity, and then as soon I watch it, and then once it's reducing, I replenish again. So can your supplier handle 5 times volume? I'm in a school right now. Yesterday we had our classes, and someone was talking about, I think she does corset, and she was complaining that the manufacturer, I think she has a co-packaging agreement with someone. They couldn't meet her, they couldn't supply her. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God. Like at that point, what do? Are your raw materials easily accessible? So before you talk about scaling, you want to be sure that you have everything, on ground. Protect quality while you're scaling. Scaling is good, but at the same time, let us not lose that quality. It is very, very important. I have customers tell me, your Zobo is like homemade. Even though we produce in large quantity, I ensure that, the quality is not, rather than it even reducing, it's actually getting better. I mean, I can say that, okay? So quality, quality. I cannot stress quality enough. As you're scaling, please do not. We've seen situations where, maybe a caterer, for example, they are selling to one person, their food is good. By the time they now start selling to a lot of people, and this happens, right? You go to restaurant and you're like, what is this one now? Their food is something else. They have lost the touch of quality. It is so important to keep that reputation. Cash flow. Also, when you're talking about scaling, cash flow is very important. The cost of raw material, inventory, everything that we need to consider when we're scaling. We don't want to get to the middle of the road and we're not able to continue. I'll share, like I'll tell you, I've made mistakes. Oh my God. I'm going to do a book on all the mistakes I've made. So last year we launched our pouch. Okay. We were doing plastic bottles and I was just tired. It was the cost of printing label. Oh my God. I could not keep up. And I'm like, okay, so how do I handle this, especially the cost of everything going up? I don't want to put a high price on these drinks. What do I do to make this drink affordable? So I started working on the pouch. And when you want to print pouch, they won't do one for you. They won't do 10. They do in thousands, 5,000. The minimum they would do is 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. So I did the first batch and it has not dawned on me that when you want to do your second order, before your first batch runs out, you need to place, order for the next, and then it takes like 6 weeks. So it's not like running to a printer and say, oh, please, can you quickly print 20 label for me? I need it urgently. No. This one, you need to give them 6 weeks before they can produce, for you. And it dawned on me, I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so I didn't place order. I was running low. I didn't even know I was running low, and then when I place the order, it will not arrive before this other one finishes. I'm like, oh my God. So now I have to learn before this one finishes. In fact, as you are getting this order, place order for another one. And then, this is not cheap. Because if you're producing 10,000 minimum, it's not $5,000 we're talking about. So cash flow when we're scaling is very, very important. I'm almost done. So mistakes to avoid when we're scaling without confirmed order, scaling too fast. Like I said, let us scale gradually. Let us grow. When we grow, we stay up, right? Ignoring quality control, overproduction inventory, expanding in too many regions at once. Again, scaling gradually. I think the last point I have, this is the last, understanding regional opportunities and regulations. Regulations are very important. We cannot cut corners with these things. We cannot cut corners. Canada, like my first speaker said, Canada is highly regulated. It's not like Nigeria where, you can do this, you can do it. No. Here there are rules and regulations, there are things to follow. And I think for me, one advantage or one thing I know that I did right was I'm in a lot of associations. Okay. I'm a member of Women in Business in Canada, which gives a lot of opportunity. In fact, when I was applying to be a member, like the document, because they certify you, they certify the business that, okay, they understand this business and they understand. So the documents they were asking me for, I'm like, what? I'm not asking you people to give me money now, So being a member of that opened up opportunities. I'm a member of Canada CHFA, which also opened up opportunities for me to understand regulations, to understand the opportunities that are beyond my region. So the risk assessment before entering a region, evaluate the regulatory complex, cost of compliance, the time to market, all these things are important for us to to understand. 5 steps to regional evaluation. So you want to first of all find out the region I'm going into, the product I'm taking there, is it in high demand? Are there competition? So I'll give you a story. When I got into Ontario 2021, and there was somebody that was actually making Zobo. There's someone that sells Zobo in Ontario. And so when I got to the store and I gave them my price, first of all, oh my God, the what do you call it? What the margin, the profit margin they're asking for is ridiculous. And so I went to a store and they told me, these other Zobo they are selling it for, they are giving it to us at $2.50. And I'm like, please, what is inside that Zobo? So I told them, I said, well, unfortunately, anybody that wants, so I bought it. I actually kind of bought what they had in the market just to try it out. And I'm like, well, I kind of understand this one, but this is different. Kugot is different. And so I was telling the store owner, I said, you know what? Anyone that wants to drink healthy Zobo would buy Kugot. If they want something that has a lot of sugar, then they can do this other one. And that's what people were doing. So I had people that would say, this thing is not sweet now. We want plenty sugar. I'm like, okay, so they will buy the other one that has plenty sugar. So you need to understand the competition that is in the market where you're going into, okay? And understand how do I handle that? Profit margin potential is also very important. Distribution accessibility, very, very important. I think for me, I was favored by God. I have a company that does refrigerated logistics for me, and they go to practically every province in Canada, and it's affordable. So I just get a pallet and I send it. I pick it up from their terminal in BC or in Ontario. And so these logistics are very important when we are scaling up. Lastly, mistakes to watch out for: entering multiple regions at once, ignoring local labeling laws. I think Canada, we kind of have a uniform laws. Maybe Quebec could be different. Again, assuming organic claims, this is very important. Let's not say things that we cannot medically defend, right? Meeting regulatory compliance requirements. If we need certification, let us go for certification. There is nothing that stops us from, having all the certification that we need to. I'm currently working on few certifications right now. So if we need certification, let us go into that. I'll stop sharing and stop talking, and then when we take questions, we can go back. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so very much. Very well appreciated. Can we all give a round of applause for our 2 madams at the top? When women, the men here, please forgive us. When women do things, they kind of do exceptionally, meant to, but I mean, they've taken time, they've gone through the process themselves, and they are one of us. So whatever we are thinking, this hurdle, how do I overcome it? How do I pass it? They walk the walk. And that's why they're here today to, talk us through the processes they've gone through, the plenty mistakes that they've made, and also how we can learn from those mistakes and grow from them. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you, Madam Moyin and Madam Omo. So now we'll go into, and it's exactly 1 hour now, or I think we have 10 minutes. I don't know which one is faster. The recording is saying it's 1 hour, but we still have about 10 minutes. But I envisage will extend a little bit. So if it's okay, if you want to leave or if you want to stay, that's also fine. We appreciate you. Yes, thank you very much. Madam Comfy said great lecture. And Madam Comfy, she's based in Edmonton. She's also started sauces. So you don't have to know how to cook ukwobi or isiu or any of those things to actually cook them. She sent some to me and I was feeling like a pro myself. I'm like, I can open a restaurant with this sauce she sent to me. I just added my cooked, stock, and it was beautiful. So it's also a great one for her because she's also wanting to expand outside of Edmonton to other regions and also, online as well. So great session we're having here. Thank you very much. Now, if you have questions, please post them. For the few questions Definitely, definitely. The few questions that comes to mind, and I think I said we're going to go back to this, is the practical steps. So you started off in Calgary, and then Madam Moore started off in Brampton. But then, how did you decide I want to go to this African store? And I like when you said you got there and the profit margin is like, how would we even, how would we get the main cost?
Yeah.
To top profits. So how was that experience like? Maybe Madam Omo should take it first. How was that experience like for you to say, okay, I reach out to this African store first or this retail store first, and then what was that process like? Your first expansion and process.
For me, the experience wasn't good, like new product. Oh, no, 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 no. It was like doing you a favor,
Mm,
So I had to beg, I had to persuade them to take my products.
mm,
And I had a lot of products then. I had over 21 products, different. So I had to scale down. Oh, please try this, ma. This will sell, ma. You understand? So it was like that. They took it. I was going up and down, marketing, and was trying more like forcing them to take your product, and they'll take it. You send people there, you do Instagram adverts, all that, be marketing, telling people to go to their stores, they'll buy. But getting the payments will be a big deal for me. I'm talking about my personal experience. And I've begged you already to take my products. I know you've sold my products. I'll now be begging you to pay me, and you refuse to pick my calls. So people will have to drive over an hour to their store. I'm not in Canada for this kind of, you understand?
We need come accounts bridge. What's happening?
I had a lot of African stores, So I sat down, I said, what can you do better? Is this how you want to keep doing beggy up and down? Bring a Begistan all the way from Nigeria to Canada, So that was when the idea of e-commerce came. And people were already buying on my own e-commerce platform. So I said, of course, I'm selling here already. Let me look at other platforms. And that was what prompted me to other e-commerce platforms. And I have to tell you sincerely, if you are selling and you are not on all these e-commerce stores, you are just sleeping on it. In December, I took time off social media and all that. I took about a month to re-strategize, spend time with family and all that. And what I sold on this platform were even much more than what I was selling on normal this thing. I was sleeping, enjoying Christmas, and money
and was entering.
Every now and then, Amazon will be notifying you of people buying. It was a great deal for me. It was an eye opener. So it's something everybody must experience if you want ease in your business.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, that payment, when you started talking, I know I had this conversation with Madam Victoria, I think last year, when she was like, where you carry something to African store to get your money. So I wanted to ask what that experience was for you. Madam Moyin, is it the same thing as well?
So going into the stores was, for me, maybe that quite different from Dr. Omon. Like I said, the acceptance was amazing. I actually had an African store reach out to me, and she wanted to carry the products. So right there, I had the drinks were in like 4 stores in Calgary. But when I got into Ontario, like I said, it was like when I even saw the profit margin, I'm like,
is it worth it?
Like this, it was a big one. But eventually we were able to, like I said, come to terms with, okay, let's reduce the size so that at least, so we're still selling, at the price where they could take it. And I had a payment structure with them. So when I give it to them, at the end of the month, I invoice. Some stores I invoice right away. Some stores, like the big stores that take high volume, I invoice at the end of the month. And so initially they're supposed to, the agreement is that they pay me as soon as I invoice. And then I notice first week in the new month, it started going to second week in the new month. Ha! But the unfortunate thing for us is that we don't have, business, you need cash flow. You need cash flow. It's the money that we're going to collect from you that we're going to put back in the business. And like my friend here said, some of them have finished, they have sold it. 2022, when I got into Hunter, I lost money. In fact, there were some stores I wrote it up. I'm like, you know what, there's no point. Now, another problem I was having is because our drinks have no preservative, they have to be in the fridge. Kunu is clearly written on it. Do not freeze. Keep refrigerated. I had a store in Ontario that took the whole case, like about 5 cases, and they put it in the freezer. By the time I realized it, and once it's frozen, it's gone. It's bad. You can't drink it. And the owner said, "Hey, is somebody, you didn't tell us." I'm like, "Ma, it's even on the case." Like I say it, even when you say it, when you write it, they will still, our people will read. Let me not say another thing, So it was a big loss. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So that went. But for going to BC is the stores that sell in BC. I've not been. Most of the stores I don't even know there. I think I know one person. But the experience in BC, for example, has been amazing. So once the product gets to BC, I have a delivery person that picks it, and he goes around all the stores and delivers to them. So some cities are different. When we took the drinks to New Brunswick, it was quite, before I got paid, it took a while, but I don't know them. So some stores, they are open to receiving. In fact, most stores are open to receiving, but when it comes to payment, it's the same story. It's the same story. So yes, we need to re-strategize that, because if you want to sit down with African stores, I went for a program, and that's when I knew that African store is a good place to start, but it's not we can't remain there, because on the ladder of when they say which store are you selling, and you say African store is at the bottom of the ladder. That's the truth.
Thank you very much. We would probably have a session with the African store owners, because a lot of them are also our vendors, and see how they can also, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we are all on top. When they call our name, it's not just Filipinos or the Chinese. When they call Nigerians or Africans, we are also right there, making sure everything is working fine. I have a few questions here. First for Dr. Omo. Madam Comfy wants you to, list some of the stores you're on and maybe how you got on them, how easy it was, and if you can share some of those processes with us. Registration, or I don't know if it's called registration, but how to get on those stores, your initial 4 steps, and how, be able to move
You
around.
mean e-commerce
The
stores?
e-commerce stores, yeah.
Okay. Right now we're on Walmart Canada. We're on Amazon. We're on Temu, Canada Marketplace, and it's actually the second largest now in Canada after Amazon. And then we have some private ones, and those are the 3 major ones anyway, And for 3 of them, there are different kind of registration. For Amazon and Walmart, it's almost similar. Amazon is the easiest to get to, they'll take anything. Even if you don't have any registration, you can still have your way around. Walmart is very strict. very strict. If you are into food business, you must have a CFI registration, and that's a big deal. It's like our NAFDAC back home.
Mhm.
But if you have it, you get on Walmart. But my experience at Walmart, the first time I went there to drop my products, they didn't allow me to enter. They were like, I need the safety gear. I need to. I'm like, I just brought this. Told me that I can never enter their warehouse like that. So I had to look for a Walmart store, buy the gear, and because I don't want to just go and just come back like that. So I put on the safety gear and I entered. When I met the person that will collect my products, she was like, is this all? I said, yeah, this, and from me, I felt I'm doing everything. So I brought like 10 boxes, and she said they were expecting me to come with a trailer, and they have their forklifts ready for me.
Ready
I said,
for you.
I'll get there soon.
We are getting there soon.
So when we got talking, and I said, I had to go and use my money to buy all this. I'm not comfortable with it and all that. She now told me that because they were expecting a lot of products from me, and she now asked me that, am I a Jamaican? I said, no, that I'm a Nigerian. She said, really? How did I get to Walmart? I said, I just tried and all that. She said, this will be the first time she'll be seeing a Nigerian bring in products. And I told her, I said, don't worry, you have a lot of us. I said, we are so good, and you are going to have a lot of us. So each of these things for Timu came to look for me. When you keep on doing what you like, just be there, show up, even if people are not buying, just be posting, be doing things, be going about, talk about your products. Timu came to look for me themselves. Getting on their platform is quite challenging. So, they are Chinese and they are just navigating their way from Canada. So if you make any mistake, even if it's just one thing like this, they will not approve you, and it takes time and all that. You keep going forth, and even if you call them before they will understand the kind of English you're speaking, it will take time. So frustrating, but it will pay off at the end of the day. Yes. For Walmart and Amazon, the best thing to do with them is to let them fulfill for you. Just dump your products with them. They will do the marketing for you. They will do the delivery for you, and they will pay you promptly. Very easy. But for Timo, they've not started doing the fulfillment, maybe because they're just starting up. But it's a big market. And right now, what they are looking for is a food business. They have a lot of other things, clothes and all that. But they are in Canada, they are trying to get like some of our products, African products and all that. So they are really trying to get a lot of people doing this kind of business, So it's the three big marketplaces in Canada now were on them. And for me, it's the best thing. It's the best thing. I have African stores too. I sell at over 20. Well, I had to stick to the people that are good to me, the ones that are paying on time. So they will even pay me before I produce for them. You understand? And some are even looking now for me, when they see that everybody is talking about your products, people come into their store and say, do you have triple more? You understand? So they will reach out. And for those ones, the ones that are good and the ones that, okay, this person has a lot of stores and she's always buying in bulk or something, she's buying 30 cases, 40 cases. Even if she's going to give you a post-data check, you okay, madam, I need your money and your exposure, So that is it for me.
Thank you very much. Madam Victoria said you should please expatiate on CFIA and GTIN barcode.
The GTIN is especially for international products and all that. It helps them to trace your products, the production date and all that. It's I don't know how to explain it, but
I think maybe our question is more geared towards how to get them, like how to register your product for it. Okay.
can just Google it and go on it. But for the people I consult for, I take them on how to do
Through
it.
the
But
process.
it's something you can do on your own. You can just get it online. Just type in GTIN barcode.
Number. Okay.
See how to go about it. The minimum you can get for business is 10. But if you are using your personal name, you can buy, I think, 1, 2, 3. But if it's a business name you're putting your registration details and all that, you cannot, then you are going to put pictures of your products, all the details on the product, I think the ingredients and all that must be there. So it's detailed. And if you don't have it, you can sell on some platform. On Walmart, you can sell. On all the superstores, you can sell on them, you understand? So that is it about GTIN. But for what was the other question?
other one? Barcode. The CFIA.
The
Does CFIA
CFIA.
give code?
The CFIA is really a big deal. I ran into trouble. That was how I got to know it too. I wanted to go for a program something like Niger Market. So in another town, Oakville specifically.
Okay.
So we're already doing the awareness, They just reached out to me from the health department of Oakville that I should send all my business documentation and all that. And me, I was thinking
I got this.
everything, I gave them, I sent the email. The lady got back to me, explained all the things she wanted. I provided them already. I told her I have a business in Nigeria. You can check. She went to my Instagram pages, checked everything. But she told me that they need more than that I should provide the people bringing stuff for me from Nigeria and all that, was like putting other people into trouble, I was getting scared. That was around, I think it was middle of the week. The next day I got a call from Peel, where my region, saying that I should provide a similar document. So I was scared. The next day I got a call from Federal, from Federal saying that I should send it. Oh God. The Federal, they told me that I have to take down my website, recall all my products. And I had products on marketplaces already in stores and all that. They said I have to bring down everything. The Peel region said they were coming to my house, coming to the commercial place. I was so scared, in fact. So I said, what can I do? That was when I contacted my lawyer, my business lawyer, and he told me that, what about your CFIA? I said, what is CFIA? I don't know anything. He said, it's the IS regulatory documents for anybody that is into production and you want to sell nationally, I said, I don't have. And he said, you have to get it. That was how I got into getting it. It was a big difficult, but once you have it, nobody can disturb you. Once you have it. At the Brampton Niger Market Day, I just, was windy and all that. So I left my stuff on the table and I was in the car. So the health people there that came, they saw my name already. And because of our previous interaction, they knew my name. So they were looking for me. They were saying, where is Triple Mos? Where is So when I got there, I was saying, oh, you need my document. They said, no.
No, you're fine.
Ready. Because when I got it, I sent to all of them, and that was when they left me. So now with the CFA bringing stuff, nobody will disturb you once you have CFIA, So it's a good thing to have. You can check it online to see how to go about it.
Yeah, thank you very much, particularly for CFIA. And I think last year we invited them to come and train us. We have that on our YouTube, how you can go about getting it. Even for our market, they would usually, if the health inspector is being thorough, they would usually ask, especially for like Winnipeg people, Brandon people, they always ask, it's one of the things you have to get. And some of our vendors already have it as well. So yes, it's a good, and I'll share the link to their training because they came themselves to train us for that section. I'll share the link before we finish. Madam Moyin, I have one more question for you. And okay, I'll come back to the question in chat, but the question I have for you is selling, and this also applies to Madam Momo, selling to the African stores. do you have some level of like a signed document with them to say, oh, for instance, it's only your store I'm selling to in the whole of, say, Calgary, or this is the, agreement terms, and how are they able to follow these terms? For instance, like when they destroyed your product by freezing it, what happened? Did they pay for it?
Bad market.
Yeah, bad debt.
Bad market. No, I don't have any right to say I'm the only one. So when I have few stores, I'm just thinking, I have few stores that they only carry my product.
Oh, beautiful.
There is no written agreement. They just choose to carry only Kugat.
Mm-hmm.
I have other stores that sells other products. So there is no agreement that says you have to only sell my product. I think some just prefer to stick to only Kugat. I have stores, the store owner telling me, oh, people are really trying to, like other people that are selling what
Brands.
I'm selling,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get in, but they just want to stick to only Kugat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know
And
if
why
I
I
answered.
ask is, okay, sorry.
Mhm.
Why I ask is recently I was at a store and I saw a product. So immediately I saw it and I know the person that, produces that product, but I didn't see a label on it. So I'm like, she had to copy. Sorry, pardon my Yoruba. Have they copied this person's product again? So I gave her a call immediately. She's in Calgary as well, to say, sis, I see your products or a product similar to yours, and I know you're the only one doing this product in Canada.
Mm.
So she was like, oh no, that's also her brand. But she was like, she has, so the African store where I said, where I saw it said, oh, they don't even know her. So I'm like, how did you get the product if you don't know her? So like they got from somebody else in Ontario, and this person is in Calgary. So when I called her to say, oh, your product is here, they said they didn't get it from you. So how come, do you have a distributor like a larger? So she was like, she usually signs an agreement in every city she gets into with the African store to say, I would only sell to your store in this city. Then you can decide to distribute to other stores if you choose to. So she has that kind of agreement with them.
No, I don't know.
But for this other person, they got it from Ontario because the person in Ontario has a family in this city I was in that they could easily ship to. So they were also shipping into that city, but it was unofficial, kind of. So I just wanted to
So,
see if
so
there
I,
was
I
some
think
level of
something
agreement.
close to that I have is I have a distributor in Ontario
Mm,
that sends to every
different
store in
parts.
Canada.
Oh, beautiful.
The understanding we have is she cannot come to Alberta because I'm in
Mhm.
Alberta.
Yeah.
I think that's the only restriction she has. Every other places she can send stuff to them.
Mhm.
I just feel because I need to also control the stores where my products are, especially because mine is sensitive, right? It
Mhm.
has to be in a temperature controlled environment.
Okay. I have a few questions, but I want to quickly get the CFIA video and post because a few questions are coming from there. Okay. Okay. So I'm posting this now. You can watch it and then get some answers. The other questions I have, I'm sorry we've used 15 minutes outside of our time. It's just so that we can trash all the questions. So someone said, if I'm producing dried stuff like powdered tiger nuts in pouch, can I use my home? You're wrong. Can I use my home for production or commercial kitchen since it's not a liquid? No, irrespective of what you're producing, unless it's for your personal consumption, even if you're bringing it for the market, for instance, it cannot be produced at home. It can only be produced in a kitchen. In some provinces like Ontario, there are some few cities that allow home, and I think Alberta as well. A
Yeah.
few, they allow home,
Rigs.
but the home kitchen is not your personal kitchen. It's, for instance, maybe your basement now, you've turned it to a certified kitchen. So they will come, they will inspect it, they will certify you only to be able to use it for that purpose. So those exceptions are there for some cities, but some other cities do not allow at all. Somewhere like Manitoba, you are not permitted to cook anything or produce anything from your home, except for something like maybe cookies that does not have any hazardous product in them. And those are also in very limited quantity for the purpose of maybe somewhere like a market. But for proper production, like you want to share in stores and stuff like that, no, you're not able to. Another question we have is they want to confirm the certifications and licenses that essentially just want to confirm that all these certification and licenses are essentially majorly for food items and not for clothing and shoe brands. Yes, they are majorly for food items, but for clothing and shoe too, I mean, they are not that strict, but there are times they have some guidelines. So for instance, there are some clothes that can be harsh on other people's body, or there are some shoes, and this was during, if you watch data importation basics, you see, they answer some of these questions too. That there are some products, shoes, clothes, perfumes, even to something like a ketchup brand. And what's that popular brand now of ketchup that is you see everywhere? But you would want to import it and they'll tell you this is not allowed in Canada. But be like, I saw it in Superstar, I saw it in Walmart. They say no, this size is allowed, but this other size is not allowed. Hence, yes. So there are just some very, very tricky things that if you go through the CFIA website, you really learn from them. But there are so many information. So these are videos who would help you because they kind of like broke a lot of things down. Another question is also, what are the conditions to meet before I can be certified by CFIA, and what are the required documents? I don't know if anyone wants to just briefly go on it, but again, the website is a good place to get all those kind of information. Another question is, but some creatures bake cake and pastries from their home, even cooks. Because somebody does it, doesn't make it right. And again, a lot of our vendors, at times when they send me things, I call them again and say, are you sure you got this? Are you sure you did this before I can post them? Because someone like our brand that is even known across, I have a lot of health inspectors, a lot of agencies that are following us. At times when I post something, I just see email. They send me an email to ask blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh yes, because I'm posting them because I'm confident. So because somebody is doing it doesn't mean they are doing it right. A case study is one of our vendors in Calgary. She was actually registered with them, but with a different name. So when she decided to do like a name change, she didn't remember to go back to, the health inspectors to let them know this is now the new name. So immediately they saw her or saw her brand, they they had fired her emails, like that. But luckily she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't come back. But she had all her registration in the whole name. So that was what helped her. For a lot of people post food, post processes of how they are cooking and everything from their kitchen. If you are caught, it's not child's play and you don't want to be caught and you don't want to do that anyway. So please make sure you're doing things right. Because you see it online doesn't make it right. Please, Dr. Omo.
Okay, sorry, I just want to add something to what you just said. I think the best way to go about it is to put it in your name, in your personal name. For me, that was what I did. So if I'm using it for Triple Mo's, once my name is on the business registration, I'm covered. If I'm using it for another business, I'm covered. So that's another thing. And was the lawyer that advised me to do it that way.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Well, nice. So do we have any other questions, comments, feedback?
Can I just speak to
Yes,
the
please. You
last
can unmute and just
question?
raise your hand on mute and speak. And you can put it on your camera as well.
Can I speak to the last question, sis?
Yes, please.
Please, let's do things right.
Please, who is speaking? Oh, okay, Madam Moyin, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, please, let's do things right. That somebody is cooking at home or baking at home does not make it right. The whole lessons why we're here is to talk about scaling production, is to talk about expanding. And in order for us to do that, we need to have, the right mentality. First of all, we need to get it right. Like I said, when we started Kugot, we had our barcode from day one. We know we were market ready, So cooking from home has limitations, and baking from home without licensing. There are different licenses. There's business licenses. For example, in Alberta, we have AHS. There's AHS license. There's food handling certificate. Please, let's get all our certificates. Let's be properly licensed for what we're doing. Thank you.
Very, very important. Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you, Dr. Oma, and thank you, Madam Oyin. Fantastic session. Thank you very much. So in the absence of other questions, next week we'll be posting this on YouTube during the course of the week for people to also rewatch and all that. Next week is our final session. Please make sure you also be around for that. I have one other question before I let you two go. My question is, so what do you think about recently we've had a lot of Nigerians that have, or just people generally that own e-platform apps, and they invite us to be on those apps. What do you think of platforms like that to be able to scale?
Okay, for me, I try to, once I see that it's a genuine one, I try to on board with them. You never can tell. I know Amazon started from somewhere, and since it's our own, we have to always support our, So I try as much as possible. Once I'm able to confirm that they are genuine, it doesn't cost me anything to put my products there, So I try to do that.
Yeah, same with me as well. I mean, we help each other, right? So if somebody's starting something new and putting the product there will help, why not? And if it will also help my business, why not? I don't see any reason to be scared. As long as it's legit. Yeah.
Thank you. We have one more question. Please, for dried tiger nuts. I thought we answered that. What certificates did I need or do I need? Please enlighten me. Dried tiger nut.
We'd like to take that, Madam Moyin.
So first of all, please, which province is she?
What province are you in, please? You can unmute Ola fast. Edmonton.
Okay, so I can speak to that. First of all, register a business. So there is the business registration. There is the AHS certification that is needed. So register your business. Like Dr. Omo said, you can start. I started with sole proprietorship. So I registered sole proprietorship, and then the same year I incorporated Kugot and incorporated Kugot federally. So all over Canada, Kugot is incorporated. But you can start with the sole proprietorship first. So that is one, and then you will now register with AHS. But before you can do that, you need to be producing from a commercial kitchen, a commercial space. I'm sure you can get any commercial space in Edmonton. And then once you start that, work on your packaging, work on the barcode, nutritional facts, those things, like your packaging generally, your labeling and packaging, work on that, and then you can start. Sorry, I can't read the last thing she said. What?
I also do. I'm not able to. Doctor, I'm not. If you can unmute, please, or laugh fast to ask that question. I think he's trying to say the session was very impactful, or he is trying to.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So next week we'll be here again the same time, and then we'll be having it's one of us that owns an e-platform. She'll be coming to speak to us about being there and the visibility you can get through that. And then we also have Scotia Bank. They have a mentoring program for women and small businesses that I think they'll be talking to us about, and also how to get funding. They have some funds. They said they have some grants as well that they give particularly women. and small businesses. So they'll be coming to speak to us about that. So please show up next week. And that's also the last session for the training, the last training session next week. Thank you very much again, Dr. Omo and Madam Moyin. Madam Moyin, thank you so much. We appreciate you for taking time to take us through this. I know Dr. Omo was saying something around consulting. Do you consult for businesses to be able to do this?
Yes, I do that.
Oh, okay. So we're in good hands now. So if
Reach
you
out to
need
me on,
more, sorry?
I said you can reach out to me on Instagram if you
Yes,
need
please. Yeah, if
people.
you need more personal sessions or stuff like that to know more, you can reach out to Dr. Omo. And I'm sure Madam Onito will be willing to help us. You know, she's also there in the group, so you can also harass them in the group as well. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your day and see you at the market. If you have not registered for the market, please make sure you register.